Okay.
I'm just rolling with it.
Yeah, I understand.
I was just burping.
And I'll introduce the podcast. Because maybe you're going to be the one that saves me. Because after all, this is a podcast. Hello, everybody. It's Analytical Fanboys. The monthly media cast where one of us picks a piece of media, shares it with the others, and then we have discussion and opinions and intellectual conversation.
And
I'm your host.
disagreements.
I'm disagreements. I'm your host, Boing Rider, and with me, as always, are these chuckle fucks.
Hello, it's me. It's Mr. Buster Corp of the Buster Corp. Yeah, I'm crossing my arms like a gangster. I'm not gonna finish that. Crossing my arms like that one SpongeBob render that some people called gangster once, and those people clearly live in the whitest house imaginable.
The White House.
You have not seen... Have you not seen the airbrush gangster SpongeBobs?
I have. No, I'm talking about the. No, okay. It's a different.
I grew up
meme.
with that stuff in my neighborhood, man.
Yeah, but that's a different meme. It's a different meme I was talking about, where it's like it wasn't the It wasn't the airbrush gangster. It was complete. It was just a regular render of SpongeBob. It was weird. Anyway,
Cody, introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up? My name is Markiplier, and I'm here under the guise of Snow Cone 83, the human centipede. How's it going?
That took 3 left turns. I didn't know where you were going with that, but all right, thank you.
Boingo, you're the topic selector today. Introduce us to the topic.
Well, the topic today is an album, but there's a reason why I picked this album. Is the band themselves had a very noted and very famous falling out that no one ever thought would be fixed or healed in any way. And then this year, about a month ago, the two members, the Gallagher brothers, reformed Oasis and are going on tour. So I thought, why not? Because it's such a specific moment in time. We dive into their big hit album, What's the Story? Morning Glory.
All right. So yeah, pretty simple stuff. Band reunited. Okay, so I've never heard of this band until you mentioned them, because I am not a music guy at all. I'm honestly not that big of a music guy. Like, I mean, I like music. I like a lot of music. I'm just okay. No, that's wrong. I like music. I am a music guy. I just don't like that kind of Western style music. I'm more of the Eastern stuff.
And this is a very Western band, because this was Oasis was one of the big dogs in Britpop.
Yeah, Britpop. Now, Britpop I've dabbled into here and there, but I'm not, 100%, into the Britpop stuff. I think, what's the closest What's that band's name? The ones who did that... Let me think. Okay, there's a couple, British bands I've listened to, but I don't know if they count as Britpop, so I'm not even gonna bother mentioning them. But yeah, so this was very interesting, listening to an album. Now, here's how I usually listen to albums, as opposed to the common person. No, and I'm not just talking about where I listen to it, just what I like to experience. So I kind of just pick after I listen to a whole album, I kind of just pick the songs I like and then just put them in my personal playlist and just go re-listen to those songs. I did revisit the other songs in this album too for the sake of this analysis, but I'm very selective about what kind of songs I re-listen to is what I'm trying to get at. And I feel like music inherently is very re-listenable, so that's my kind of shtick with that. That's why, Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I'm not talking crazy yet, but I did enjoy this album. I listened to a lot of the other stuff. I just kind of listened to this album, but for this album, it's good.
It's perfectly fine not to have listened to it, because as a personal challenge, because it was I was the one picking it for the audience. I listened to pretty much their entire catalog.
Yeah, the entire discography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Cody, what did you think of this album?
I thought it was pretty interesting. The first time around, I do like the band. I've always liked the song Wonderwall.
We'll get to it.
I don't think there was a lot of other songs on here that I super stood out to me. It was kind of just a lot of very similar songs one after another for the most part. I kind of got bored with it, truthfully.
Yeah.
It was good, but I was just kind of
They have a style, and unless, if you're into that style, good for you. I'm into that kind of style, but it does kind of blend together at times.
Honestly, I think I'll get to that in a bit, but like thinking of this as like this is their second album. This
Yeah.
isn't like deep into their catalog. This is their second album.
So this is
And
like Step Up 2.
yeah, but this was right at the height of like in rock music, Nirvana, Pearl Jam.
Yeah, I can hear some Nirvana like
No.
era.
Opposite.
Oh, opposite era. Okay.
Britpop did not like American grunge.
Okay.
They thought it was stupid. In fact, another Britpop band, Blur, made an entire song making fun of grunge, and it became their biggest hit in America.
Interesting.
You would know the song. It's the one that goes, woohoo!
I think I'm familiar with that one.
Yeah. It was made to make fun of grunge and Nirvana and everything. But like, Oasis was basically one part Britpop, one part mod revival, because that was a scene that was happening in the 90s in England.
Yeah.
And just copying middle era Beatles.
I can hear some Beatleisms. I don't know how to like. I'm not the best articulating why I feel like the way about instrumentations and music. So I'm going to be saying a lot of stupid shit in this video, in this podcast. Like when I'm into music, I'm really into it. But when I'm like casually into it, I'm like the casualest of casuals, you know?
Right. And
So
honestly, while Oasis is like this album's good, it is grocery store music.
Oh yeah, I've heard Wonderwall in like grocery stores, like, you know, little just like street performances.
It's safe music.
It's very safe. I guess we can talk about Wonderwall since it's like the big hit of the album.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, but the more it gets a bit more annoying the more you listen to it.
Yeah.
It's very grating. I can understand why it kind of has like a memetic reputation these days.
I prefer Neil Cicerega's.
Dang, I should have listened to the Neil Cicerega version.
Yeah,
Winder. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I always enjoy going through the album. I would just say that this album has less of what I normally like out of interesting albums, where like either it has like a bit of a thematic, like there's like a noticeable moving forward through a story, or at least like changing and shift of tone continuously.
Yeah, this is
it
very
wasn't
much
always
a
that.
collection of songs they made. Not really like doesn't tell a story. I could be wrong though. Boingo, if you am I wrong?
No, Oasis was very much because I am fairly aware of like the Britpop scene like era, and the two big dogs were Oasis and Blur. Blur were the ones telling stories in their music. Oasis was about vibes.
All right. Yeah, because I honestly like the best compliment I can give this album is like it's a vibe. Like there's a very not melancholy but kind of like angst, I think is the best word to put it. Like this just kind of teenage angst of like, man, I feel sad. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't know. That's not exactly what it's going for, but that's just what I can describe it as. You know.
The song that like stood out to me is like, oh, I'll probably like add this outside of like Wonderwall would be the let me look at the song. Don't Look Back in Anger, that song.
Oh yeah, that was the other big single from the album.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I actually like for listeners' context. I actually have the album on shuffle as we are recording this, just to remind myself. And like right now, "Don't Look Back in Anger" is playing.
Oh, me too.
And, like,
wow.
Yeah, and it's like, and like, yeah, that's a standout song. I'd say like of this, like it's very different vibe, but still has like the similar like angst vibe of the rest of the album.
You're just hitting on an angst idea. To me, the vibe is very much it's 2 a.m. It's a bunch of like early 20-year-old British dudes who are drunk as shit walking down the street smoking cigarettes.
That's a good way to put it. That's a really good way to like visualize.
That's pretty angsty to me.
Yeah,
no, it's a very specific kind of angst. You know, it's that kind of like
Boingo's expanding on the angst I'm getting at
because it's like
onks.
We're not M. Night Shyamalan over here. But no, the big lot of good songs. I don't think there's any bad on the album.
Yeah, at most there's middling songs or just forgettable songs. It's not really like anything that's offensive to the ears.
Yeah. And like I enjoyed it while I was listening to it, but again, it's like other than the big hits, like
which like I can understand why they're big hits, you know. It's just like they've been so overplayed that they get like, especially like when I'm re-listening to them, I'm like, man, I'm already kind of sick of this song.
Cuz like they're big, anthemic, they have great sing-along hooks.
Yeah, like after all, like that kind of whole.
Like you can tell why this band blew up and was selling arenas out in the 90s because everybody just singing along of like don't look back, and like the whole crowd singing don't look back in anger. That's a vibe. You can get into that.
Very much so.
It's recognizable.
Yeah.
It's like bar songs too then.
Yeah, that's another great. It's bar-y, it's pubby, it's a bunch of lads making music.
Yeah, I saw like video. Like I was watching a vlog, and one of they took a thing of a street performer, and one of them was playing Wonderwall, and I was like, oh my god, the song. That's like a perfect kind of scenario of like playing Wonderwall. So
yeah. Now let's get into some of the other aspects because I want to dive into this before I talk about the way the music is composed. So I listened to the entire discography. After like the album after this, which would be like 4th, 5th, it just started feeling like slop. Like it was just because they don't change
Buster, was
anything.
that your crown?
You took the crown.
Is that yours?
No, it's not. Anyway.
But you know how the more middling songs just kind of feel the same.
Yeah. Like and is that like their entire discography?
Pretty much. The rest of their discography is just kind of like the middling songs in this album. It's just like that over and over again. They're not bad. They're just slightly uninspired.
Yeah, aggressively mid. I know that's kind of like a overused word in the current internet lexicon, but you get what I mean.
It literally, I could not tell sometimes when one song ends and the next one begins.
Yeah.
You know, with the fact that they drone on in the way that they do, you could say, and it's probably going to be a little offensive, but you could say it's just like store-bought angst and like a type of like, I don't know, easily accessible, look how cool I am, like wow, this is a really deep band.
Yeah, it's pop, and
they're not bad.
It's not bad. Pop's not bad, but it's not like changing the world or anything. It's just kind of, I don't want to say status quo-y, but like maybe status quo is the best way to put it. I don't know. Like
to me, because I'm coming from this as like a musician place.
Yeah.
That a big part of it is the way that they write and record their guitar and the bass and the drums and do the lyrics and the vocals. Like it's just full on wall of sound, no variation in dynamics. It's just it is like a musical equivalent of like white noise.
Yeah, like there's points where I felt like, should I even, like, I kind of had to stop to listen on my first watch through because just because it's just like it got so repetitive for me.
And here's the thing, the best songs on this album are the ones that have variation. Wonderwall, Champagne Supernova, and Don't Look Back in Anger.
Yeah, you're right.
But not that Champagne Supernova.
No.
Like I was listening to Champagne Supernova before I got on call, and it was very. I really did like that kind of like the vibe of that one. It was very like it was a long song, but it was a really cool long song. You know.
Oh, and that's the thing. All their songs on all their albums are like 5 minutes long, and it's just repeating the chorus like for half of it, and it's just like, oh god, please let this end sometime.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, like actually, no. I take that back. What I said about the positive long. That wasn't that positive long. I don't know.
Like this album and this band, it's very much you look at it briefly and go, yeah, that's fine, that's cool. And then the more you
think about it,
sit in it, it's like I'm uncomfortable. I don't like this.
Yeah, it's slop. It's slop. I'm sorry. I don't like saying that, but maybe not slop. Man, what's a better word? There has to be a better word. There
It's
has to.
overindulgence and believing their own shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Like they buy their own hype that they're deep and great and wonderful, so they overindulge in it, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
Especially like the album right after What's the Story Morning Glory, which is not good.
Oh, yeah, I know, like, one of my friends was talking to you, being like, hey, like, this Oasis thing, like, they only have, like, a couple good songs, and it's like, that kind of was like, I wonder how true that will be, and I'm like, oh, they were right.
Very. But I knew what I was getting into. I did like this was me going. This was me looking at a field of barbed wire, going like, I'm gonna walk through that. But
Yeah.
no, the album after this one. That's the one where they have like a 10-minute song where they just repeat the chorus for 7 minutes of it. It is ridiculous and overly self-indulgent.
Yeah. It's especially Champagne Supernova, I feel. Champagne Supernova, like, kind of gets a very, eh.
Hmm.
What else? What else? Man, like, I feel like we said everything, or like, is there anything else you want to like
There's
anything?
other things we could probably say.
Yeah, just like I mean, much like the album, where we're kind of variationing on the same few points and not really elaborating. Or not, we are elaborating, but just not really like getting like any like
I am
breaking.
glad to have gone through it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a nice change of pace compared to like watching a movie or reading a comic. But like, I don't think it's gonna stick with me like outside of like the fact that I watched it and listened to it to talk about it. You know, I know. Like, I think the best thing to like talk about, like a compliment I can give to a components thing is not components, analytical fanboys thing, is would I have like if I just snuck it out for myself, would I have liked it? And I'm like, unfortunately, no. I don't think I would have really cared that much about it if I
no.
just looked up for myself. I mean, sometimes that's the fun in the show. It like forces us to get like a bit creative with what we indulge in, but also, I don't know. It didn't really stick with me. It was just a fine album. It's
Yeah,
fine. That's arguably some people will have said like 6 out of 10s could be like a fine 6 out of 10 could be like the worst the media could be for a lot of people, and I'm starting to see what they mean.
because it's just like it is oatmeal. Sometimes the oatmeal fucking hits and it's exactly what you wanted to eat and it like just goes like fuck yeah, that was some good oatmeal. Any other time it is oatmeal.
Yeah, and I just didn't really do anything to stand out for me.
What I think is interesting is just how Oasis is kind of grouped in with like the big 90s heavy hitters when it feels like anybody only the songs anybody ever talks about are just like the 1 to 2 3 big hits in America. I know
Yeah, the
there are
Wonder
variants,
Walls, the
but
like
like you put
anger.
them side by side, some of the other big 90s era heavy hitters like Nirvana, okay, Pearl Jam, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Fuck, you can even put them up against Primus, which was like much more underground, completely different sound. But like you talk to people who are into rock and know of Primus, they could probably name like 10 songs. But like it feels like you can only name the big hits from Oasis.
Yeah, like I like the eight, and most of them are from this album, from what I understand.
And you know what?
What?
Chicken
Funny
butt.
joke. Funny joke. Their name is spot on at that then. It is
Oh,
a desert of mediocrity, and every once in a while you hit an oasis.
yeah.
I will
You
say
feel
one.
good about what you said.
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. I will say one thing. I do appreciate their graphic design for the time.
Yeah, like I do like it's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Yeah. Oasis. Do we have any other specific thoughts we want to get into, or should we
Take it
start?
away, sis.
It was, man. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, man, I just didn't really make me think. It didn't make like it wasn't like Why the Last Man where it got me thinking like in a bad way, or it's like something good thinking. It's just kind of like Superman, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow or some. It's just there, just kind of there.
It's just kind of there.
Yeah, and I'm like, I sometimes we need that for like, sometimes you hit you swing and you miss, or just sometimes you just need something to like be like, yeah, things aren't always gonna be the peakest of peak fiction or the abysses of abyss fiction, but this is just kind of like, yeah, I want something to chew on,
Yeah. Like I kind of mentioned a bit ago, it feels very kind of like music white noise.
Yeah.
You put you have it on the radio and it sounds good. You play it during a grocery store and it sounds fine. You can listen to like the big hits and it's like, yeah, this was a good song. But overall, it's just there.
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts, Code?
Scribble Bop and Bibble Snap.
Well said.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my best interpretation is like some nice pub music, definitely capitalizing on the everybody's vibing together, singing together, because we all know the words, even if you don't really know the words. So yeah, it ain't bad.
It ain't bad, but it ain't special.
It ain't bad, but it is not. Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. It's not bad. It's good. It's solid, but it's not over the moon amazing.
Like, you want to feel things, and sometimes when a thing fails to make you feel, that's a bit sad,
And now I'm starting to think, I'm wondering. Now I'm just continuing the conversation. We
keep
wrapped
going.
it up, and now we're just going to keep going.
No, keep going.
I wonder if part of that is we are a bunch of fucking 20 to 30-year-olds in America in the year 2024. I wonder if this hit that much different to English teens in the like 1992, 1993.
I mean, everyone
1994.
has their little like niche, and like this was probably like a little niche of like, man, like this isn't the greatest, but it hits for me, and that's probably what this is for a generation,
Yeah, because 1995 England, they're coming out of Thatcher, economic depression, and the world basically thinks England's kind of lame.
It still kind of is, but
there was a brief time in the late 90s, early 2000s where England was cool again.
Yeah.
And partially, Oasis and bands like them are a part of that,
They're partly a part of what they
Yeah,
couldn't be
it is
apart
interesting,
from.
like, media kind of does influence, like, an entire country's perception of, like, how are they perceived? Like, oh, it's like what, the infamous Thing Japan meme,
Yeah. I've had a fucking joke about a thing in my head about the thing, but Japan. It's like everybody in the world looks at America building their houses out of wood and paper material and think that's dumb. And then they see Japan make their houses out of wood and paper material and go, holy shit, that's cool.
What an apt metaphor. Do we want to, like tease next months?
Hey, yeah, Cody, you're the one picking up next. So what?
I get to announce it, right?
Yeah, you get to announce it. That's how the podcast works.
Man, it's been so long, we forgot how the podcast works.
I'm hoping we haven't done it before, but I don't think we have. The live action Speed Racer?
Ooh, no, we haven't done that.
Maybe Simeon did. Did Simeon suggest that? Maybe he put it on the original list.
I think he may have had it on the list, but I don't think we ever got to that. No.
I've actually watched that before, so this will be an interesting revisit.
The Wachowski sisters Speed Racer.
Yeah, I have some things to say about it, both good and bad. I'll put it that way.
I'm a fan of this movie.
I won't be too insulting to you, Cody. I have some like minor quabbles that I want to get into, and I'm like, it'll be interesting to discuss it with y'all.
Yeah, but till then, Hatapa. This has been a podcast, Analytical Fanboys. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a like and a comment on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, or follow us on podcasting platform of your choosing, wherever you find us. Buster, tell people where they can find you.
Hi, I'm Buster Corp. I do lots of dumb YouTube videos on the YouTube channel. Right now we're doing like a little event. We're doing a video every weekday, so go check it out right now. It's called The Bust Down. There's lots of variety in it. Go check it out.
Yeah. Hey, Snowcone, tell the people where they can find you.
Never_robot on Instagram.
Hell yeah. And I am Boingo Writer. You can find me a variety of places on the internet. Links are all in the description, usually. But Boingo Writer on YouTube, Boingo Writer on Twitch, and Boingo Writer on Bluesky. Till next, and I hope you have good times and don't look back in angers. Till next time, where we talk about Speed Racer. There we go.
Now recording.
They are in. No. Though for some of the jobs I've done already, I'm not going to get paid for them till the 18th.
Dang.
Hey, at least you're getting income.
Yeah, at least it's coming to you.
But the first Florida theater job I've gotten, I'll probably get the check for it tomorrow or the next day.
Or the next day?
Yeah, because it would have been sent out. Pay would have been sent out on Friday, on the 4th. So I'm thinking, but I have not done direct deposit with Florida Theater yet because you got to work there a little bit before you do that. So now that I've done like 2 jobs, maybe the next one I'll direct deposit be okay. But what was I about to say? That should come in the next day or 2, and the others, which would have been load out for Hootie and the Blowfish.
Load
out. Tucker Carlson.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. That's gross.
Yeah, but hey, I got fucking paid. Fuck it.
Yeah.
We just made fun of it the entire time we were setting things up.
I hope he sees you working hard and he's like, you know what? We need more people like you. I want you on my show. I want you to work just for me, and I'll pay you so much money.
Here's the thing.
He kissed you?
No, fuck off. We don't really ever see the talent because it's like so separated.
Also, I'm playing with Cody's friend Gage on Fortnite, so that's gonna be interesting.
Gage.
You know Gage, Chris.
I know Gage. I'm just saying his name weird.
Yeah. Also, because this is a music episode, I have the music of, just to remind myself, just in case I forget anything, I have the music of the album on my...
It's a really good idea.
Listen, I'm listening to it, like, while we're talking.
What's the story, Morning Glory?
Yeah, I got the whole album, like, loaded up and shit, like, if I need to reference anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had a realization the other night that's unrelated to anything in the podcast, but I just want to share it with y'all.
Yeah.
That technically, the ostrich is the world's largest living dinosaur.
That's pretty badass.
Because birds are dinosaurs.
Yeah, dinosaur office. Roar. I could technically use Boingo's Dropout account to watch Dinosaur Office, but it's all on YouTube, so why would I do that?
Yeah.
I know that, like, Sam Riegel was, like, tweeting about Dinosaur Office. Like, yeah, that's me.
I shared my Dropout with Pan because he didn't have
Dimension 20.
Yeah, because it was just like, I haven't been able to watch the new season of Dimension 20 because the person I was borrowing their account couldn't pay for it anymore. I was like, do you want my account? And the way he said, oh no, you shouldn't, as I reach grabbingly. So yes.
Who's this guy? Oh no, he's a villain.
A villain?
Got somebody on you?
Yeah, I already killed him. It was quick.
Hey.
I'm learning. I'm living and learning.
Live and learn.
God, I wish. No. I don't wish it was a components because I'm really excited to talk about this album. But I wish I could talk because I've been talking like a Lost Sonic recently, and I want to talk about. But like, next week.
Yeah.
There's been some interesting things I've been doing around the Sonic series. So, and I'm down. Dang it. Whatever. Yeah, I got cooked. Whatever.
We'll come get you.
Since it's your episode, Boingo, you can introduce it whenever.
Yeah.
Or never.
Yeah, we're just gonna be stuck in this call all night.
We're just going to be stuck in this call forever and ever. Nothing else.
All night Fortnite.
This is actually my first time playing Fortnite in like 2 weeks.
I've been playing it all day, baby.
Yeah, no wonder. You're like level 147.
You have been doing your prep, right? For the hurricane?
No.
I love you, Cody.
I mean, there truthfully is no real level of prep because, like, unless something bad happens to work, I'm just going to be going to work every day and sleeping with the power off. Which I was already
more
doing.
Of like bottled water, things of that nature.
Yeah, I'll go. Well, see, right now I'm in a weird standstill because literally Wednesday is when we're supposed to fly out.
Mm.
So, like, do I buy a bunch? Like, do I spend a bunch of my saved money on hurricane supplies before the storm or before the trip? In the case of I'm actually here for that, because like I won't be here for pretty much the entire duration of the storm. If we,
Mm. Okay.
I'm just rolling with it.
Yeah, I understand.
I was just burping.
And I'll introduce the podcast.